note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another live stream with me, Grizzly K. This is Grizzly True Crime. And what we're going to do today, because yesterday we did a long live stream looking at all the photo evidence of Jenn Soto's room, Maddie's makeshift room, and bedroom number 4. Today we're going to look at some plausible scenarios just to discuss, to check if what Jenn said about sending Maddie, Stephan upstairs, should we believe her? And the reason we ask is because there's a lot of things that we were like, well, that turned out to be a lie, right? Okay, so I've got a presentation for you. Welcome to all my moderators. Thank you so much for everything you do. We've got the best mods. If you want to buy them coffee, you can go to grizzlytruecrime.com, go to the support page, scroll down, and there's a mod coffee link. So thank you to everyone who's doing that as well. Welcome to all my patrons. Today, after this live stream, we will have a Patreon-only live stream. The link is already posted for you on Patreon. So check your emails, check your notifications if you are there on Patreon. If you haven't made it there yet, come and check it out. It's a really great source of support, and there's lots of behind the scenes content and extra things you get there that you will not get anywhere else. Welcome to all my members, subscribers. There's lots of new subscribers too. Oh my goodness. And any locals in chat and any family and friends of Madeline Soto. Fem Patel, welcome as well to you. All right. So are we ready, everyone? Sure, I've been down a rabbit hole, hey, and the more I go down this rabbit hole, the more I stay down the rabbit hole. And I'm like, oh my word. Okay, so let me try to articulate what it is I'm trying to discuss with you. I think it was really great as a community to discuss those photos. Thank you so much to everyone who's emailed me. A lot of you come from very experienced backgrounds in law enforcement, in psychology, in the medical field, and I really like hearing your opinions as well. Thank you very much. It's very helpful. Okay, so, and it's very nice when you're like, Gisela, you are spot on. I'm like, really? Is it? Okay. Casual Observer says, your appearance on Vinniepolitan was grand. Thank you so much. I was recently on Court TV. It's on their YouTube channel now, if you guys do want to check it out. I think it's the latest Madeline Soto video that they've got on there about the case. So I was discussing that with Cody, Thomas, and Judge Ashley. That was really great. Okay, so why are we exploring different scenarios? Okay, now if you're new to the case, then oh my goodness, it's a rabbit hole. There's a lot of info. If you just expand the description box, you can read a case background there that I've written for you. Click on the playlist link and catch up there, because we've done timelines, map time, plenty of documents. Then I made that FOIA request and we received a huge amount of data that we've been working through now as well, which includes police interviews and body cam and so many documents as well. So we've been over that too, right? There's audio files available for you without commentary. There's also the commentary live stream. So make sure you catch up over there if you are new to the case, all right? But there's a lot of inconsistencies in the victim's mother's statements and the victim's mother's ex-boyfriend's statements. Now, the ex-boyfriend, Stephan Sterns, he has been arrested. He's been charged with over 60 counts of CSAM SA material charges, okay? And each count represents 10 or more photos and videos, okay, related to this victim. That is very hectic. And he had other content on there as well. They also found another hard drive with 35,000 pictures, all sorts of things. Okay, so he's been charged with that. And first degree. They say premeditated first degree murder. Normally that sounds like first degree would be, but premeditated first degree murder, and the state's pursuing the death penalty. Okay, so that's Stephan Sterns. So if you see in this, you see there when it says SS, that's for Stephan Sterns. If you see JS, Jenn Soto, Jennifer Soto, the victim's mother. And the victim in this case, 13-year-old Madeline Soto, who lost her life. She was murdered after she just turned 13. She had her 13th birthday party on Sunday, February 25th. Monday morning, she was strapped into the passenger seat of the ex-boyfriend's dad's vehicle, and she was deceased. That's what police have told us, right? My goodness. So that is so scary and so sad. Okay, so we're going to go over this presentation I made for you. I'm also going to show you a few little clips from our, from the police audio files and things like that. Okay, so are we ready? Thank you so much again. Please like and share so others can know we are live right now and can also explore this information with us. Last disclaimer, when it's speculation, I'm going to tell you this is pure speculation. Take it with a grain of salt. I saw yesterday in the live chat replay, someone said that people are taking words out of my mouth when I say it's speculation and running to other channels and saying Grizzly said, and therefore it is. And it isn't. Don't do that. Don't do that. If I'm speculating, I'm going to say I'm speculating, okay? So, why are we exploring scenarios? A 13-year-old girl, Madeline Soto, lost her life. That's why we're exploring scenarios. Because full justice for Madeline means that everyone that should be held accountable must be held accountable. Now, it's, oftentimes in true crime cases online, people will wrongfully or unfairly, the public's opinion would be that somebody's guilty that isn't. And especially we have seen it with parents. If you think of the Chris Watts case, you think of Nicole Kessinger and all of that. I understand. There's just some cases where it's like the gut feel, the data, the actual data, the things that are being said, the inconsistencies, literally changing times, narratives. It's too much of a red flag that it's difficult to not even talk about and consider. You know what I mean? So we're going to talk about, plausible scenarios. We're going to explore that. And I know that many people in their gut wonder if anyone else will be arrested. Will anyone else be arrested in this case or not? Stephan Sterns has been arrested, I'd say, facing the death penalty. Karen says, you were great on Court TV. You are the best. I thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Okay, so for me, I'm team Madeline all the way. I want justice for Madeline Soto. I think it is so unfair, so horrible, so tragic what happened to her. And she was sexually abused for so long, for about 5 years at least, based on the evidence on Stephan Sterns' phone. It's devastating. And it happened in plain sight, under her mother's nose. And it's like so many lessons one can learn from this, right? So even if no one else ever gets arrested, there's many lessons to be learned. Let this case be a lesson, right? Okay, Garden Girl's like, red flag. All right, so it is alleged that Stephan Sterns sexually abused Madeline Soto for about 5 years before she was murdered and before he's accused of murdering her, right? He lies about everything. Stephan Sterns, literally, his parents said when his lips are moving, he's lying. Jennifer Soto called him a master manipulator and liar. So everybody really they were friends that called into YouTube channels, various ones, and also saying like, that guy can lie, okay? And he's one sick puppy. So that one, we have to challenge everything he says, just about. We have to listen very carefully to everybody else's interviews, everything else around him, because what he's saying, doesn't make sense. Now, Jennifer Soto, she either parrots his lies, and it's about this day and this moment here from, let's say, February 25th of 2024, okay, the Sunday, until like February 28th. Stephan Sterns was arrested on February 28th. All right, so somewhere there, Jenn Soto either parrots his lies, so he's either sold her a story and manipulated her to say all those things, and she's willingly just repeating it, not realizing the consequences, or she lies about many things too. Now, their timelines, both of them, have shifted and changed a lot over various police interviews or reports. Let's try to make sense of some of these obvious inconsistencies. Because many of them, and it makes me feel, when you get that, it feels like your heart drops. And you get this, like, it's almost like a fear feeling. Sometimes with some of these things that I think about and the timelines and everything, you just wonder. This is one of those cases that has really caught the attention of many people, and it keeps us up at night because there's so many questions. So we're trying to, as a community, just go over some of those things and kind of do a think tank together, right? When it comes to trial time, we'll do a snark tank together. Thank you, Katie. All right, so now let's continue on. Hold on, I don't want to miss this one quickly here. Okay. Now, Terry says, Team Madeline, I think SS groomed JS and Maddie from the beginning. Justice for Madeline. Yeah, I think his goal with that relationship was to get to Madeline. And that is how he would operate, right? I quickly want to see something. Somebody with... Okay, let me read you this email. Someone wrote, and I always keep my sources anonymous, by way of introduction, I'm an ex-detective and have qualifications in the prevention of child exploitation. I heard your thoughts regarding Stephan Sterns having multiple victims and wanted to put my 2 cents in from my experience. Typically, I have to say it like I'm going to try and censor it, YouTube. Pedos, predators, fall into 2 categories, situational and preferential. A situational pedo is YouTube, is someone who typically falls into a situation, more opportunistic in nature. Typically, the offenders are extremely socially awkward people who feel children do not judge them like adults do. So when an opportunity presents itself, they will take it. Now, Stephan is what we would class as a preferential one. His sexual preference will be a child. As such, his actions around us will be very deliberate. Typically, these types will groom multiple children over many years, so I agree with you, he likely has more child victims. I know he was predatory to the flatmate, so I think you will find there are multiple adult victims too. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so we've got that. Nightcat, welcome. Okay, so now, remember the statement from reporters? It was like breaking news. I remember Vinnie Politan on his own channel went live and everyone was like freaking out because his title was like, everyone was like, what? Because it was like, there's no plans to charge Jenn Soto. And so we were like, what? You know, and I wouldn't be shocked because we've seen many cases where people that we might think, you know, as we, the public, international public, online communities, the internet, YouTubers, think might be charged aren't, okay? But no plans to charge Jennifer Soto. So now what does that mean, right? So the police do not announce, these are the points I want to make, so that just to calm everyone, don't worry. Okay, let's give some context. Firstly, police do not announce plans to arrest anyone because if they did, they would tip the person off. Okay, so they never make plans. They're investigating. They're following the evidence. They're busy with things, but they don't announce plans to arrest anyone. So it was likely a statement that came from a question being asked, like, do you have plans to arrest Jennifer Soto at this time? And maybe the answer was no. And then that becomes the headline, you see? So sources told reporter Shannon Butler that Jennifer Soto has done nothing criminal so far, so she will not face charges. Child neglect a little bit. Anything else you got back there? Okay, so police department spokeswoman Alibeth Suarez told the Orlando Sentinel on August 27th, which was a few days ago, we don't have charges for anyone else in this case at this time. So you can see they all say so far at this time. They're not saying forever and ever and ever. You just never know. You just never know. These things take time. Sometimes it could be years and then someone's arrested, right? So this does not mean that she will never be charged with anything. Of course, it also doesn't mean that she will. But it's just, take it with a grain of salt, because they're not going to say, yes, we plan to. Indeed, we plan to arrest her. Just give us a moment because we're still just working out something. They won't say that. So I would just take it with a grain of salt. Do you think that she should face criminal charges? That's my question for you. I've asked you before, and if so, then what? Okay. I don't know where she is at this time either. A lot of people are asking that too. I don't know if she's like people have speculated. She's either with her family or she's at a mental health facility, or I don't know where she is. How do we know she hasn't left the country? We don't know where she is. I don't know. Okay, so now I made a list and it ended up being 2 pages like this of some odd things that Jennifer Soto said. Just in case someone's new as well, or you need a refresher of why are people even looking at this poor mother? Why? Because people are protective over Madeline Soto. Madeline was not protected. It sounds to me like, I'm just speculating. I am speculating. But it's from everything I've heard, it seems like her mother didn't care very much about her. She might have even wanted a permanent babysitter, which ended up being a groomer and a predator. Even if she didn't know that, it's still not okay to just pass your kids off to someone else. It's her only daughter, you know? Like, and if you don't want her and don't care, then let her be with her dad. Because I believe that her dad, I remember him saying something about fighting for her for custody. But somehow Jenn Soto ended up with Maddie. So, okay. I don't know if that would also have any financial benefits or not. I have no idea. Okay. Sunset Rising said Jennifer Soto should be charged with child neglect. And Nolly said, yes, she said. Yeah, she was initially staying with her sister. So I would also speculate she's still with family. But I wonder how long she'd be staying with family, right? CBC said, did JS break up with SS as you called him X? Yes, they broke up in December of 2023. So they were already broken up by the time he came to visit, right? So Natalie said, I still think she's in a hospital or rehab somewhere. She hasn't been seen or heard from at all. And police say they don't have plans at this time to charge her. Makes me think they can't talk to her. I agree with you, Natalie. That's what I'm thinking as well. I'm trying to be very careful with it because the next thing you know, someone's going to quote me on some other channel saying, Gisela said she's in a mental facility. I don't know. It just sounds like, oh, no one's really seen her that we've heard. I mean, she hasn't made any statements, not even through her attorney. So it's plausible. Thank you, Janine. Thank you so much. Okay. So now some odd things. Now, this is just a small list. This was off the top of my head. Okay. I was like, let's just list a few things that she said that was very, very strange. Eve Loves God said, nothing surprises me anymore, and perps can be many different types of people. Okay, some odd things she said. Okay, and did. So 1, she did not celebrate her daughter's birthday with her on Thursday, February 22nd of 2024. How do we know that? Remember, her birthday was on February 22nd. I see a lot of mainstream media still reports Maddie's birthday was on the 25th. No, that was her birthday party that her grandmother had hosted for her, but her birthday, when she turned 13, was actually February 22nd, okay? So she didn't celebrate it with her. We don't know what she did with her. It sounds like she just went to school, and then Maddie had complained to her friends that her mother she either didn't give her enough money for her birthday that year, she gave her less, or she didn't give her anything. But she was very upset, right? So that's what the friends had said in their interviews. We didn't listen to them. We read it on that district attorney's document, which was 896 pages, which we studied in detail. There was a part 1, 2, and 3, and it's all on the playlist, right? Now, she also did not attend her daughter's birthday party on February 25th of 2024. And as Emma Kenny, I don't know if you guys watch Emma Kenny, she's brilliant, okay? And she's got lots of credentials, psychologist, all kinds. Okay, so go check it out if you haven't. But she did an episode and she's like, Jenn Soto had a whole year, an entire year to plan to just be off for the one afternoon or the one day that her daughter turns 13, because as we all know, because we've been kids before, right? Right. So turning 13 is it's a big deal. You suddenly feel like I am a woman or a man, I am an adult now. I'm all grown up, even though you're not, you're still a kid. You feel different because now you're a teenager. It's a big deal. Now, somebody had emailed me to say in Hispanic communities, the 13th birthday is not actually the big one. The big one for them, apparently, tell me if I'm wrong, but that's what someone sent me, so I'm just repeating that, is a 15th birthday. But still, she should have been there. She should have been there. And I know that she was training and she was working part-time, and then she was training because she got a new job, and maybe she couldn't change that, and I understand that. But then do something for her sometime. There was Thursday, there was Friday, there was Saturday, there was Sunday. Pop in later. Don't send her off to bed with your ex-boyfriend at 11 o'clock. Spend some time with her. What did you get her for her birthday? There's a lot that one could ask, right? Sandy said JS not only failed to protect M from a predator, she created a home environment in which SA could occur under her nose. That is neglect, at least. A 13-year-old should not be sleeping alone with a man, period. Thanks, G. I agree. I absolutely agree. So she says that so I could go on about the birthday. There we go. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Quincenera. Oh dear. People are going to be like, you're saying it. Am I saying it right or wrong? Am I saying it very wrong? That one, 15 years. So apparently that's a big deal. But I think 13 is still a very big deal, right? For my 13th birthday, my mother bought me a Barbie plate and cup set. And I'm like, I've never been so unimpressed. And she was actually quite frightening. But that day I stood up for myself. Okay, I slayed that dragon. I'm like, what the hell is this? I don't want it. I'm 13 now, okay? I'm grown. I'm trying to stunt my growth, though. What's going on here? I did not like it. I was not impressed. I just remember how I felt turning 13 as well. So, okay, there we go. Erin says, quinceanera. Oh, quinceanera. Thank you, Erin. All right. Sharon's like, her mum is definitely involved. Tracy said 13 is a huge milestone for a young lady, right? Which is also why Maddie said, well, when I turn 13, I'm going to go live in the woods. I'm going to build a house and live in the woods. And she suddenly had crushes. I don't know if she had crushes before, but she was telling a friend she had crushes. She said that, she's stopping her medication. She was making big moves. She was doing a lot better at school as well. She was painting that door with the door project, and she actually won Student of the Week. Like, it sounded like she was getting more confident, and that is a factor, because if you groomed and sexually abused since you like 8 years old, and then she just turned 13, that's a long time of somebody, really abusing you. I mean, to then be like, no, okay, and suddenly decide, no, I'm going to do better at school. I'm going to stop taking my medication. I know, actually have a crush on a boy, and I want to tell him so. I'm telling all my friends his name and everything. She's making big moves, right? Ladybug says, just like in the Kayla Montgomery case, Jenn should face some charges for letting her daughter sleep in the same bed as your boyfriend. And do you guys remember the Daniel Aguilar case and Nicole Aguilar? Ooh, that one will make you mad. We haven't watched the sentencing together yet. Maybe we'll at some point. We've been very busy with this, but that mother. Oh man, when they asked Nicole Aguilar, why did you let this guy abuse your little boy, the son? She's like, I just wanted a boyfriend. I just wanted a boyfriend so badly. Like, what the hell? Okay, so this is another odd thing Jenn said. She said she saw her daughter get ready for school at 8 o'clock in the morning that day, February 26th, and later changed it to not seeing her at all. And in the interview, she says, visually, did I visually see her? Well, I don't know how else you're going to see her. You're going to see her with your ears. Are you mentally going to see her? Emotionally? Spiritually? She's like, visually? No. Okay, which other way did you? But she said she saw at 8 o'clock getting ready for school. Later, that was the first thing she said initially, right, with the police. And then later she's like, oh, okay, I didn't actually see her at all. That is a number one. That's where red flags start going up big time. Now, she mentioned ADHD and autism, but not that Maddie needed her inhaler. We know that Maddie needed an inhaler because her teacher said so. Her friends said so. In the backpack that was put in the dumpster, there was an inhaler in there, including a spacer for that inhaler for her asthma. So, like, did Jenn, her mother, not worry about her need to breathe? Especially if she suffered from a lot of panic attacks, anxiety, constipation. You're not worried about her being out in the woods? You're not going to look for her anywhere? You're going to just stay at home and take a nap? Really? Are you sure? Oh my goodness. So, she corrected Stephan Sterns on what Madeline was last seen wearing. Blue pants corrected to shorts. Do you remember that from the body cam? I might want to actually, maybe tomorrow, tell me if you want to. You can maybe go over all the body cam again, right? The ones from when they were at that insurance building, and then also the one where they're standing outside the house. It won't be too long, but it's like, just seeing that all again. I watched it all again today. I'm like, what the hell? So Jenn didn't see her at all, but yet she corrected Stephan when he said, he was parroting everything like, okay, how much does she weigh? What's her height? And Jen's like, I'm 5 foot, 110 pounds. Then he goes, 110, 112. What color's her hair? Jenn says blonde. He's like, yeah, like a dirty blonde. And it's like, okay, what was she wearing? And he's like, dark green hoodie and then blue pants. And then Jenn says black shorts. She looks like this black shorts. And he's like, are you sure? He literally is like, are you sure? And she's like, mm-hmm. And he's like, okay, black shorts. That was a very weird moment. Okay, we get into the scenarios. This is very important though, before that, right? Okay, so that's odd. Then why correct him if you never saw? Why? I don't understand. Okay, she was never comfortable with her daughter sleeping in a bed. This is all based on the police reports. Okay, if you're wondering where's this all coming from, it's from the police reports we've gone over together. Okay, the police reports, the police interviews, the audio files, all of that, right? Okay, now Birdie said, do you think that they are saying Jenn Soto won't be charged at this time to make Stephan Sterns' mom mad enough to start talking about what she may know? Well, she's already said quite a lot. Stephan Sterns' mom has said quite a lot, which makes me think quite a lot sometimes. I'm like, wait a minute. She said, what now? We're going to go over one of those things today. I think it's more that so that Stephan can start talking. Yeah, I think it's going to be up to him to start talking, if anything. Sorry, is it big enough for you? I hope so. Okay, so she said to the police, she was never comfortable with her daughter sleeping in a bed with Stephan Sterns, and admits that it was a selfish move to send them off to sleep together the last night that her daughter was alive. She forgot to take her meds. This is another odd thing she said, that she forgot to take her medication on Saturday and was not herself on Sunday, but she was in training on Sunday at all work all day. So how did she cope if she forgot? And based on everything we know, do you believe that she forgot to take her meds? Because I don't. There's no freaking way that Jenn Soto is forgetting to take her meds. And if she did forget, then why? What happened on Saturday? Why'd you forget to take your meds? Doesn't make any sense. She's like med obsessed. She's just like meds the whole time, meds. It's like very dependent on her medication. And I understand that she might need it because of her mental health diagnosis and everything she struggles with. But just forgetting, that's like saying, I don't know, like I just forgot to eat. I'm not one of those people. Some people say that, but I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't know. Just forgot. Just forgot to take my meds. And so I wasn't myself on Sunday. That's a sentence she said. That one is a red flag, okay? So I'm basically listing odd things she said, meaning AKA red flags. Okay, so she offered a narrative of what happened early on. She said that Maddie was abducted. She believes she was taken, but then she didn't say, do you think she's cold? Is she hungry? Is she being SA'd? Where could she be? Who could have taken her? Who would do this? No, she just believed that she was taken, and so did Stephan. He said the area where he dropped off is actually like very, an area that's known for sex, tea, trafficking, okay, my word, YouTube, ST, and kidnappings and abductions. He told his parents that as well, right? And Chris Sterns was like, no, man, no. no, that's a good area. Like, what is he talking about? But both Jenn and Stephan said that. Why is Jenn saying that? Wouldn't she be the one to say, like, no, man, of course not. It's a good area. Why is Stephan saying that? No, they're both saying it. And they're both like, no, she's been taken. Yeah? Taken where? Who? Why? And why aren't you looking? Right? Pernille said, remember how she was she was demanding her meds that were in the car. She said, like, in the car, by the nightstand, she was sounding very assertive. Okay, when police focused on Stephan, she said she believes that they have the wrong suspect. Oh, I thought your daughter was just missing, right? Missing, may have gone to live in the woods. Maybe she's like, no, not that. Wouldn't you take that more seriously, right? Miss Wales says, why drop her off there then? I know. And an hour early for school. And for someone like Stephan Sterns to be so, what we can observe, obsessed with Madeline Soto, to just drop her off and leave her there in a parking lot for an hour, he would have rather wanted to spend the time with her, right? Even in the car, eating Danish pastries or whatever the hell. Why would he just drop her off there to stand there alone and go to school alone, right? Okay. Melanie's like, gee, I laughed so hard when you said, what are you going to see? Yeah, what are you going to see her with? Your ears. If you guys watched the Daniel Howard trial with me, there was that friend that talked all about the peripheral vision and all sorts of things. It reminds me of that. Like, well, how are you going to see her? With your ears. Anyway, so it's again, like visually, yeah, sure. Okay. Now, she told the police that the sex stuff, they quoted it like that, sex stuff. You mean the SA of your daughter? She said the sex stuff was not evil, but murder was evil. Like that one. Wow. If you haven't seen it, we went over it again yesterday before we did the whole photo exploration. Okay, we went through all those photos. Before that, I showed you the highlights from the document. So if you still haven't seen it with your own eyes, it is on there, right? Let me see what I've missed. So Laura said, yeah, Stern slipped up and said blue pants, and she said black shorts. He was right. Yes, because she was found in blue pants. That's what's so crazy. They're standing there, and Stephan's like, dark green hoodie and blue pants, and Jen's like, no, black shorts. Black shorts. And he's like, are you sure? Why? Because she was found in blue pants. Yeah. So Stephan, peripheral vision. You remember? Oh, man. So I've got another whole page of odd things she said. And as I say, this is just off the top of my head. She spoke about her daughter in past tense, and the police noted this on the police reports. They were like, wow, she's saying a lot of past tense things about her. And she asked if police were going to keep her phone forever. When they took Maddie's phone, Jenn Soto said, are you going to keep her phone forever? I mean, the answer would be, no, ma'am. We're going to give it back to Maddie when we find her because she's missing. Am I right? But by Jenn Soto saying, are you going to keep her phone forever, tells me that she knew her daughter was no longer alive. So I think she knew her daughter was no longer alive. That's huge. That means she has knowledge of what happened in some way. And that should be criminally charged, don't you think? Anyway, police noted that she protected Sterns more than showing concern for her missing daughter. They even asked her, like, why do you protect him so much? Like, why is this? So she had to look for a recent picture of Madeline because she said, yeah, but I wasn't at the party. So when Stephan's like, yeah, but okay, like, because they said, do you have a picture of her? And then she's like scrolling through her phone on that body cam, which is why we can watch that tomorrow if you want. Scrolling, right? And then he's like, don't you have a picture from the party? And she's like, but I wasn't there. That's why I have to look it up. And she was scrolling a lot. She had to really look for that picture. Like, that's a bit odd. Don't you have a recent picture of your own only daughter who just had a birthday party? Didn't she send you pictures? Meaning, didn't the family also send you? You know what I mean? Like, don't you have it? Why are you so disconnected from your only child? It's crazy, right? Claudia said, sex stuff, no evil. What did Jenn Soto see? Yeah, what did she see? Or what did she say? Okay. So she said, now we know this. We all heard this many times. Okay. She said, we took her to school. She even once said, I took her to school. And then said, but she never made it. Now, her saying the whole time she never made it. It's a very odd sentence. It's kind of like Stephan Sterns saying the whole time, we had time to kill, lots of time to kill. He said time to kill probably 5 or 6 times. Jenn Soto said didn't make it many times, which is also, yeah, she really didn't make it because she wasn't alive anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it could just be a sentence she's saying, like she didn't make it. It's just a weird, if you think about it, it's a little bit odd when she says, we took her to school, then she says, I took her to school, and then my partner took her to school, but they were broken up. Jenn had broken up with Stephan in December of 2023. That's why he had also moved out. She said he was a messy person. She didn't want to be with him anymore. Okay? And then he moved back in with his dad, and then she said, yeah, but his dad was going to offer him a job or hook him up with a job, whatever, and that didn't work out. And then she said, now we're trying to get him back here. But they were broken up. So to be like, partner, they were even friends of Stephan Sterns. They called the police as part of the police reports, and the male friend there was like, why were they saying boyfriend, girlfriend the whole time on all these like media interviews? Because they were no longer dating. And then Stephan Sterns' parents were also like, when they saw the interview, these ones that I've got the picture of there, they were like, why are they acting like that? They are no longer together. Like, what is going on here? Like, why are they behaving this way? Of course, they focused more on Jenn than their own son. They said their own son had authentic tears and a stuffy nose and all that stuff. I mean, I personally disagree. I think it all looked like very Chris Watts. Okay. So then she referred to Stephan as her partner, even though they'd broken up in December. She asked police if they wanted the clothes that Maddie was wearing when they last had her. That's a very odd statement as well. When we last had her. Okay, because now clearly she's gone forever. Yeah, when we last had her. You want that? And she said it's also a fresh scent, which I know these could just be words that she's saying, sure. But it's just, if you put it all together, it's a little bit sus. Okay, so then she said, he's been grooming and abusing my child when confronted with photographs, right? So they showed her photographs of Stephan Sterns' penis. She said she recognizes it. That's his. That's definitely him. But then when they showed that same object with Madeline in the picture while he was abusing Madeline, she said, I don't recognize anything in this picture. Nothing. There's just, sorry, can't recognize my own daughter or what I just recognized a few moments ago. So maybe that's trauma, sure. Maybe there's shock and trauma. I understand that. But they asked her then, like, do you think he could be capable of this? And she's like, well, she answered, he's been grooming and abusing my child, which tells me. So she is aware of grooming. She's aware of the terminology, right? So she's aware of what grooming is and may not be the victim of Stephan Sterns' grooming her as well. Because normally groomers will groom the whole damn family, right? We've seen that. And that's still possible. But the fact that the police noted, it seemed like she was like okay with the sex stuff. She'd already accepted that. Obviously not okay with the murder. However, I just wonder, is she complicit? Is she okay with it? Or was she a victim of grooming herself? Seagates are culpable. Sorry. Yes. Okay. So Danny Dan said, yeah, the cop even verbally mentioned giving the phone back to Maddie when she said that. And he said it with a tone. I remember that. Danny Dan. Yeah. The cop was like, what? Because she's like, oh, you can keep the phone forever? All right. So she said that Stephan Sterns, now here's a big one, another big red flag. She said Stephan Sterns did not drive Maddie to school in her car because Stephan Sterns was not on her insurance. But then she let him go cruising around all hours of the night, 2 nights in a row after that. Isn't that crazy? Like that same night. Like the 26th that evening, going into the 27th, and then again on the 28th, he's driving her car all over. Once, the first time, to the St. Cloud area where Maddie's body was found, and the second time to Northport, Florida. That's very far when you're worried about him not being on your insurance. And that's a giant red flag for me. About the morning story, this morning school story and all that, I feel like Jenn knows a lot more. Okay, so I could be wrong. Just seems like it from the things that she says. And then she said that Maddie Soto's laptop it's not trackable. And then when her family said, no, it is. If the Wi-Fi is on, it can be. She looked so worried. Like suddenly she looked so worried. And then she starts like pacing and everything. This is in the body cam, okay? And she's like, what? She looked freaked out when they're like, no, they can't trace it. So that's a red flag to me as well. Mallory said, Maddie's case hits hard. It stays with me. Me too. And you said, nobody said anything. Nobody cared. My daughters are precious. My ultimate priority. That's how it should be. That's awesome to hear. And you said, JS couldn't be bothered and put Maddie in danger. I want her in jail. Right? Thank you so much, Mallory. Okay, so those are just some of the odd things that she said, which is why it leads me to my point of if Jenn Soto said so many odd things, if so many things were either Stephan's stories that she's regurgitating or her own lies, and, you know, it just sounds like, what, do you actually know more? What's behind there? What are you saying? Why are you saying that? Why are you making as if you know that your daughter's not coming back ever? Why are you so, why is she behaving that way? Okay, so now that we've looked at that, this is why I want to now look at scenarios, okay? So we're going to start on Saturday, February 24th of 2024, okay? We're going to look there, and then we're definitely going to focus in on the 25th and 26th in a moment. Hey there, welcome. Okay, Saturday, February 24th of 2024. We've got Maddie, Stephan, Jenn, okay? I made it nice and visual and easy to memorize. So on Saturday, February 24th, Maddie called Stephan Sterns, according to Debra, okay, to ask if he was still coming on Sunday. Debra says that it sounds like she had overheard the calls and she was saying, well, Maddie was saying that she wants him to come. So that's Debra Sterns' story, right? Apparently then her friend said that she had a meltdown. Now we don't know in which order this happens. They haven't specified the times that this is all happening. So maybe she had a meltdown and then phoned Stephan, or maybe she phoned Stephan and then had a meltdown. But she had a meltdown. She called it a meltdown to her friend and needed help. But her friend didn't see the message until later, and then she messaged her back on Sunday, and then Maddie said, no, she's fine, right? She was crying and did not want to go home. She was at her grandmother's house. She slept there on Friday night. She was still there on Saturday. Then she was picked up by her grandmother's ex-husband, which would then be her grandfather, spent the day with him, and we're still not 100% clear where she stayed on Saturday night, but it could plausibly be at home with Jenn. I don't know who picked her up for the party then or what happened then. That's not been clarified. Okay. The reason I say that is because the neighbors said that they saw Maddie walking the dog either on Saturday or Sunday, and that would then probably be either Saturday evening or Sunday morning. All right. Elaine said, I think Jenn turned Madeline over to Sterns so that she didn't have to have sex with him. She's complicit in all of this. And that's so lame, right? If that is so. Oh my word, he didn't need to be around at all. Not at all. He didn't provide anything. Like there was no contribution from him whatsoever, just damage. Just a permanent babysitter. Still that. For her, what would her selfish need be to have this loser around? Oh, he's going to keep your daughter company 24/7. Okay, that's probably what she's like. Okay, that's fine. At all costs for her, that's fine. Because she needs her sleep, she needs her meds, she's focused on herself. As I say, I've had lots of very educated people from all walks of life emailing me, and some psychologists have emailed and they've observed that Jenn is completely self-absorbed, like just worried about her own well-being and her medication, everything. She doesn't care about her daughter at all. That is quite clear, right? Okay, so then what happened with Stephan on Saturday, February 24th? He asked his parents for anxiety medication. There was something worrisome that his dad said. Something, he looked like there was something really bothering him, like he was really worried. Like he wasn't angry, he was worried. Okay, and very stressed out. He said that he talked to Maddie about crushes and choir. Okay, crushes and choir. That's what he talked about. I wonder if the crush was in the choir with her. I wonder if those two things are linked at all, and if the boy she liked could sing really well or what. I redacted his name from the documents, but I wonder. Katie, thank you so much. And then on Saturday, the 24th, what was Jenn doing? Well, she says she forgot to take her meds on Saturday and was not herself on Sunday. She was in training for a new job. I don't know if she was. What was she doing the whole day on Saturday? What was she doing the whole day on Friday? Was she training? Okay. And she asked Stephan Sterns to come over to help with the dog and Maddie. And she said it in that order. I don't know if you guys noticed, but she's like, oh, you came to help with the dog and Maddie. Okay, you mean Maddie and the pets? The dog and Maddie. Right. She can't remember when Stephan Sterns arrived. She thinks it could be Saturday morning or Sunday morning. That's what she said. She didn't even say night. If she said, I don't know if it was Saturday night or Sunday night. She initially on her police interviews, go listen again, said, I think it was Saturday morning or Sunday morning. Like, no, Jen, it wasn't either of those. It was Saturday night, according to later interviews, right? So, she later said Sunday night. Okay, so that's Saturday. And we're only looking at the household where Jenn Soto was staying, right? Like, remember that Jenn Soto's ex-father-in-law, Juan, owns the home. He was renting out the rooms upstairs. And so who was staying in the home? The two roommates upstairs. One had a son that stayed there for half the week. The son was 17 at the time. And then we had Maddie and Jenn. And then sometimes Stephan would come visit. They say 2 or 3 times since he moved out. He moved out in December. Okay. The dad said he last went there in his car because it was a better car than the one that was registered to Stephan Sterns' name. He last went there for Thanksgiving and then for Christmas. I wonder if he went there as well for Valentine's Day, based on the unopened Valentine's Day chocolates on the desk. What do you call it? The dresser. There you go. In Maddie's room. I wonder, because he seems to like to ruin special occasions. That's when the predator's arriving. Yes. Icelandic polar grizzly said, I think she's like Wendy Adelson in Dan Markel murder, but everybody knows she's guilty, but they can't prove it. A little bit like Nicole Kessinger as well, right? Something like that. So, but could be, but I don't know. I think there could be quite a bit to prove, and maybe they're still working on it. You see, with Stephan Sterns, they arrested him immediately because they had hard evidence. It's like they literally had so much digital evidence on that phone that he factory reset twice. And then there was also the hard drive found in his dad's storeroom. They have so much evidence, okay, for that. And then also the premeditated first-degree murder. I don't know what all they have because we don't know everything. Just remember that. We probably know about 50% right now. We don't know everything, even though we have so much information. So that's what law enforcement will tell us, right? Former law enforcement, it's in the chat. Law enforcement will say, normally the public will know 10% of a case or so. And then when the PCA comes out and all these types of documents, maybe 50 or 60 or so, but still not everything. So who knows exactly what they have to charge him with the murder? It's probably DNA related. It seems so from the documents. But with Jenn, it will be harder to prove and it'll take longer if there's anything to prove. Okay, so we've got Saturday. Now let's keep going. We've looked at Saturday, right? Okay. Here we go. Sunday, February 25th. Maddie's last day alive, okay? Now, her birthday party started at 3 p.m., which is why I think it's plausible that the neighbors say, we saw her walking the dog. It could have been on Sunday morning, and then she could have gone to the birthday party. Okay, so she went to a birthday party at her grandmother's house. It started at 3 p.m. She was dropped off back at home at 8:30 p.m. Remember that Jenn Soto initially lied and said that Stephan Sterns picked her up and dropped her off at home. She even lied to say that he was at the party and then later said he wasn't at the party at all because her family does not get on with Stephan Sterns. They don't like him. And then in the interviews of Jenn Soto's mother, the mother also confirmed, I like him. Like he literally just leeches off them. He does nothing. He doesn't have a job, all of that, right? So anyway, it turns out the truth is, from the documents now that we know, it was Jenn Soto's sister, so Madeline's aunt, that dropped her off at home at 8:30 p.m. Now, her phone shows 31 steps and 1 floor climbed at 11:19 p.m. That does not mean that she walked that phone upstairs. I'm just putting that in there I'm just leaving that option open. Yes, her phone went upstairs. Did she go upstairs? Logically, plausibly, yes. But it doesn't have to mean that. Because there could be so many other things going on this very strange night when a 13-year-old girl was murdered in the home. Okay? So they say 11:19. That's the time when the phone is going up 1 floor to bedroom number 4 and climbing walking 31 steps and climbing a floor. The phone was put on charge at 11:39 p.m. That's a typo. p.m. 11:39 p.m. The phone is put on charge. All right, now we're going to look as well at these messages in a moment. Nice. Or Marie, thank you so much. You said, thank you for all your hard work. Thank you. So now, Jen, she said she was working that day, Sunday, right? She got home at 10:30 p.m. The plan, she said, all along, was for the three of them to sleep together in her bed. That's still not a good plan, Jen. That's still not a good plan. Why does he need to be there? Do you have the day off the next day? She's like, I need my rest. For your day off? You need your rest for your big day off. Why could Maddie not just stay at her grandmother's house, where she was loved, where she was spoiled, where she wanted to stay? Why couldn't she stay there? And Jen's reason she gave police is, no, when she stays at my mother's house, I don't see her all that much. So when she stays at home with me, yeah, I see her more. Well, obviously, it's like no shit Sherlock, but still not, because you're like knocking yourself out with medication all day long and sending her off to sleep in a bed with your ex-boyfriend. Just let her stay at her grandmother's house with family that loves her. No, she has to come home. So now Jen says she got home at 10:30 p.m. The plan was to sleep downstairs together with Maddie and Stephan, and usually Maddie was in the middle. She then says she sent them both upstairs at 11 p.m. Damn, within half an hour, hey? She gets home, takes off her shoes and throws her bag somewhere, I don't know, in a mess, in her pigsty. And then she's like, okay, yeah, you go upstairs. Sitting there for a little bit saying, oh, she was so happy with all her gifts and she just had the best time and she was the happiest girl. No, she wasn't. She was actually quite pissed off with you, Jen. That's what she told her friends. She was pissed off that you were not at her party, and she was pissed off that you didn't get her anything, really. Okay, so don't even lie. That's another lie. That she was just so happy. That's also what Stephan says. She was so extraordinarily happy, right? They're just like, wow, just like over the top to the point where you're like, we've got to raise that eyebrow and be like, what? What the hell, right? Okay, so then they say, she texted, so she sends them both up at 11 p.m., but then she texts Stephan at 23:39. That's the same time, that's 11:39 p.m., the same time that Maddie's phone is put on charge. She's not texting Stephan, okay? And she says, Jennifer at 23:39 texted Stephan, make sure she goes to bed right now. He says, okay, sweetie, good night. She says, good night. Stephan texts Jennifer, she's built her nest and she's settling in now. Jennifer replies, okay, good. I'm still going to say that could be upstairs or downstairs. I'm still going to say, and that's why we're looking at scenarios, we're getting there, it's plausible to consider the possibility that the amount that those two lie, that Jen could have said, I'm going to go sleep in the guest bedroom tonight and get a really good night's rest because there's no dog, there's no Stephan, there's no Maddie, nothing and no one to bother her. But the question is then, what was the noise at 2:30 in the morning? That's what we have to explore. Like, what could that then be if she was upstairs? Anyway, so Sunday, right? Those are the messages, and that's what we know. They didn't say anything more happened than in the night texting or anything. There's no other phone activity they talk about. There is a search warrant, however, for that they didn't tell us the results of, but there was a search warrant out for Stephan Sterns' FitBit, which they say he was wearing the whole time that he was with Maddie on the 26th. So like all that driving around with her body in the car, yeah, he was wearing his FitBit like a dumbass. Okay, so Sunday, February 25th, he says, okay, that he arrived at Jenn Soto and Maddie Soto's home at 8:45. Wow, Predator. She arrives at 8:30, you're there at 8:45. My, the timing. Wouldn't be surprised if he was doing a couple rounds around the block, right? His parents were quite surprised that like he didn't go to the party. Like, what time did he leave? And where was he like loitering around, right? My goodness. Sure. Okay, so he says he arrives around 8:45. I know other ones say, family members have said he arrived, well, you know, Jenna was like, maybe like half an hour later, sometimes like 9. But I've looked at the documents again and again and again, listened to all these interviews again and again and again. I'm like, oh, he's like saying 8:45. Well, that's within 15 minutes of Maddie arriving. And he said he was there to help with her nighttime routines. Now, we don't want him to have any part of Maddie's nighttime routines based on what he did to her with his nighttime routines, which is sickening. But also, hello. Yeah, my snark is, you're like, you have superior snark, thank you. I can't help it, I get so upset. I'm so protective, you know, of Maddie. And I just don't understand when people are like this. It's just, Unbelievable. I'm a protective person by nature. So I'm just like, what in the hell? Like, for Stephan, even for Jenn to be like, Stephan, can you just be there and help with her nighttime routines? One, she's 13, okay? She doesn't need your help with nighttime routines. She doesn't need your help to shower. She doesn't need your help to brush her teeth. She doesn't need your help to get into her PJs. She doesn't need you to tuck her in or read her a bedtime story. Just leave her alone. How about that? How about that? There's also adults, roommates that are there. Literally, he doesn't need to be there at all. He can just stay wherever the hell he is. But no, there he is, helping with her nighttime routines, which include showering and taking her meds, of which he later said he gave her an extra dose, even though she didn't need it. I'm sure you did, bro. Okay, so then he says he watched Sister Act with Maddie. He says that, remember the day before, they were talking about crushes and the choir. And he, obviously, it sounds like, was obsessed with Madeline Soto. That's not love. It's like pathological. Obsessed. Obsessed, predator, groomer, disgusting, spineless, filthy, I don't know what else. I can say so many things. But this guy felt like he owned her. It's just like one of his trading cards, like someone said yesterday. It's a possession of his, right? And he must have her at all cost, whenever he wants. So to say choir and crushes and that day he's there, and then I would assume they put on Sister Act at some point then. There would be a time when he's giving her the gifts that his mother bought for herself and then passed on to her, because she thought it was too juvenile for her, right? So it's like those mermaid tears, earrings and stuff. So at least the mother gave something. It seems like he gave her a bracelet that says BBG on it. And it's like, it could be beautiful baby girl. Oh no. Who's feeling sick? I am. Ew. And then also the little bracelet, a lot of people emailed to say, because I was like, what do you think it is? They say it looks like Cupid. It looks like a Cupid with a bow and arrow. Damn it. It's just upside down. It's horrible. So it looks like he gave her a bracelet and maybe Pringles and maybe those Tamagotchi things and then jewelry. So there must have been a time when he arrives and she's getting ready to go to bed. She's had a long day, long weekend, all of that. It was her birthday party. And then he's giving her gifts and they're in Jen's room. Okay. At some point he must have put on Sister Act, because his little story is that she was singing for him. He's like, she was singing for me. I don't know about that. You were probably making her sing for you. And maybe she was singing for you so she didn't have to do all the other stuff you usually demand. Horrible. Cara said, do we know what he was doing before he arrived at Jen's house? I would love to know what he did all of Sunday. I would love to know. So I'm sure the police know by tracking all of that. But he says she was singing for me and it reminded me of Sister Act. So I put that movie on and I'm like, Blueberry says BBG or BG. It was BBG. So we looked at the photos yesterday, right? Okay. So they put on, then it makes him think of Sister Act, a 1992 movie. Okay. All right, bro. Did you pirate that? Did you download it? Was it on Netflix? Was it on Hulu? Did you get it on Amazon? I just like, whoa, that's a random movie for him to be like, Sister Act. Let's put that on. You're going to love that. I'm like, okay. So Jenn Soto says that, she got home at 10:30 and they watched some Sister Act and then she sends them upstairs at 11. So I would say maybe they were almost finished with Sister Act, but she said they didn't finish the movie. Now the story is that he went upstairs with Maddie at 11 p.m. and he was allegedly on Telegram at 11:49 p.m., which we know these types of predators love Telegram with its lack of moderation, because they can share a lot of content on there of the same sort. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know what he was doing on that app at that time. I worry about that time because it's after all of that, right? Okay, so some questions. Why would Jenn Soto need to send anyone anywhere if her meds always knocked her out to the point that a roommate could not wake her up when someone broke into their car? I don't know which car it was, but there was a car outside that they broke into. It could have been the roommate's car. It could have been Jen's car. I don't know. They just said a car outside. And so the roommate says that she couldn't wake her. She was like trying to wake Jenn and she's like, damn, she's sleeping. Like, she really sleeps. My goodness. Right? So the roommate then said to Jenn, what if there's a fire and then you don't wake up? And Jenn said, don't worry, someone will come get me. That's how deeply she sleeps. So why does she need to, if she needs a really good night's rest and she's used to taking her meds and being knocked the F out all night, why would she need to send her daughter and Stephan upstairs? Why? Sister Act would like its name out of Is that snark for Stephan Sterns? Hey, Stephan! Sister Act would like its name out of your mouth. I know, right? Whoopi Goldberg is like, So So if she gets so knocked out from her meds, she's like, whoo, that stuff, I sleep well on that. Why do you need to send your daughter anyway? Even if all three of you in the bed, aren't you going to be knocked out all night? Why do you need to send anyone anyway? I want to know. Okay, so she slept well and said her meds usually knocked out all night. Why did she also say two different things? She said, number one, that she was asleep all night, didn't hear a damn thing. But then secondly, she also said, oh yeah, she remembered hearing Stephan using the downstairs bathroom in the middle of the night. Now, if he did that, why did he do that? Because he's now obviously now upstairs. According to her story, he's upstairs in bedroom number 4 with her daughter. Nice, okay. There's a bathroom. I think there's 2 up there, but here's one. Why does he need to be downstairs unless he's doing something very strange? And what time was that? Was it after 2:30 in the morning? I would speculate it was. What was he doing? I don't think it was anything good. So remember when she was comforting him as well. Horrible, horrible media interviews, those. Maybe we could watch those one day again too. Anyway, so you could see, like this is the bathroom upstairs. If he had to come all the way downstairs, he has to come down those stairs like clonk, clonk, making noises. Maybe he's tiptoeing, I don't know, but why? Why are you coming downstairs? Then you're gonna creep into Jen's room where she doesn't want to be disturbed, okay? Then you're gonna go round this corner where that mirror is into the bathroom. And what are you doing in there? What, for a quick tinkle time and you're going back upstairs? It doesn't make any sense. I don't believe that. So that's what she told police. 2 different stories. Now, if he did again, why did he, right? Tracy said the detective said Maddie's death is between the 25th to the 27th. How is the 27th even possible? That's a timeline they put out initially in the documents, but they did say in a press conference before they even put that out with the documents we received, they did say at a press conference they believe that she was deceased on the 26th in the vehicle. Now, latest documents say that they believe she left the home deceased. So it's always like, it's just information that needs to be updated, and I think it would just be a legal minimum time, probably, right? A time frame in which to work with at the trial. Okay, so these questions, they will bug the crap out of me. So thank you for being here. I hope it bugs you too, so that I'm not alone in this, because I'm like, damn it, man, why this? Ooh, now we get to the dodgy day, Monday, February 26th of 2024. Okay. Heidi said, my theory on the white croc is when he supposedly went in to walk the dog, he was looking for Maddie's crocs and can only find one of them. Yeah, there's lots of theories about that one croc, right, of Maddie's left there and the other one in the trash. We've gone over that a few times now as well. Yes. Sassy Frass said, great job putting the timeline together. This case is so much to go through. Excellent work. Oh, and this timeline this is not even the timeline. These are just scenarios that we're going over. It's just one angle of looking at things. Just some questions and scenarios, okay? Thank you so much. So, Monday, February 26th. Okay, so Maddie, she was seen on camera at 7:35 a.m. in Stephan Sterns' dad's vehicle in the passenger seat. They said mouth ajar or agape and slumped over to her left, and the police say they believe she was already deceased. Okay. At 9:40 a.m., they said her limp body was moved from the passenger seat into the trunk of the vehicle. And if we take into account that rigor mortis would set in, within 8 to 12 hours after death, they say sometimes within 2 hours in the face. So maybe that's how they knew also that she was deceased in the vehicle. And obviously not breathing. They have video of Stephan Sterns at the dumpster with Madeline Soto strapped into the passenger seat. And the police say they believe at that time she was already deceased, and that he moved her body in the early morning hours. If you want to re-listen to the press conferences, it's also on the playlist, okay? Because we covered this case since the day that Maddie went missing, and we were also hoping she'd be found. So we saw all those initial press conferences and then those updates, and I'm like, oh my word. So, okay, we have that. Now, so if you take that, if you think about the noise that the roommates heard at 2:30 a.m., well, that's 7 hours before the 9:40 a.m. when he moved her body. It makes sense, if it's around that time that the murder occurred. I'm just saying that, okay? Carmen said, Stephan's mom paid for Disney Plus for Sister Act. Okay, thank you, Carmen. Is it at the house there? I must listen to that again. So that probably is where it would be. Okay, now, Monday, February 26th of 2024. Okay. Stephan Sterns, this is what Jenn says. This is her story. She says that Stephan woke her as he was struggling to get the leash on the dog. She says he wrangled the dog and took it for a walk, and then she went back to sleep. Her alarm was allegedly set for 9 a.m. She says she left at 9:30 a.m. for a doctor's appointment, and she says she was at the doctor from 10:15 to 11 a.m. and then went home. In all of that time, if she was downstairs, upstairs, I don't know where she didn't go into her daughter's room at all. She didn't straighten anything up, nothing, because if she did, she would have seen, damn, there's her daughter's phone right there on her side table. Right? Or it was in her room, is what they said. Okay. Now, Stephan Sterns. He had to get Maddie's body in the vehicle without raising suspicions or being seen. I still don't know quite how he did that, unless he wrapped her in a lot of blankets. I mean, like if it's like 10 blankets and you're making as if you're carrying that all out and putting that in the passenger seat. Yeah, I don't know. That's a difficult one. And did no one see anything? But also, he says he had to get the dog on the leash to take it for a walk. Don't worry, we're going to get to the questions. He says, well, he would have. The police actually saw him leaving the apartment at around 7:30 a.m. because he was at the dumpster at 7:35 a.m. with Maddie in the vehicle. What did he do? Right then and there, he threw away Maddie's backpack and laptop and that one crock. So weird. Now, what did he come back to the complex for at 8:19 a.m.? That is a big question. And it's got many possibilities. Could just be alibi. We're going to go over that. But like, why would he leave with Maddie and then come back with Maddie's body, like in the passenger seat? And come back in and then tell the security guard that his gate clicker is not working. And then they let him in with a sticker or whatever. He goes in and the rest of the day he uses the back gate. So maybe that's why. So they could be like, see, he knew that my gate clicker wasn't working. Yeah, but dumbass, then you told the police that you forgot your gate clicker. You know, if that's his story, then just stick to your story that your gate clicker wasn't working. But he was obviously scared that the cops could tell if it was working or not. So he's like, well, I forgot my gate clicker. Such a dumb story. Oh my word. Okay, so that's Monday. Just an overview of February 26th of 2024. Now, things to think about. Okay, visual now. When did Stephan Sterns dress Madeline Soto? When did the jeans go on? I would love to know. Because if we speculate, I'm speculating now, speculation warning. If he murdered her at around 2:30 in the morning, I'm basing that on if it was upstairs and if it was the roommate hearing lots of noises in that room, bedroom number 4. Okay? When a person dies, sometimes, there would be bodily fluids released. They might go to the toilet. You know what I'm saying? So he might have been freaking out then. And even, that's why I wonder about that pile of towels downstairs. I wonder about what he was doing. Why was he using the bathroom downstairs? Did he put Maddie in the shower? Did he clean her up and then dress her? You know what I'm saying? I just wonder about all of that. So when did he actually dress her? Did Jenn Soto help? Because why does she say, no, black shorts, when black shorts were literally found in Maddie's room? If you look at the search warrants, they found black shorts in her room. And I'm like, okay. So did her mother not panic and go, oh my word, my daughter's missing? Clearly not. And why not? And then look for what she was last wearing, go, but I thought she was wearing black shorts, but here's her black shorts. So they see what clothes are missing. You know what I mean? Oh my word, there's jeans missing. Why would she have jeans? You see what I'm saying? She could catch Stephan out if she wanted to. Tony said, if only gate security had realized there was a dead body in the front seat. Oh my goodness, can you imagine? Wow, okay. So, just remember that in this episode, I'm speculating. And when I tell you I'm speculating. And everything is in my opinion only, okay? So, Laura said she's been gaslit within an inch of her mental health, doesn't believe a single instinct of her own. Awful mum, but not capable of hiding this, in my opinion. I wonder, unless she's now in a facility. I don't know. Maybe she has just lost her mind now. Who knows? Her mental health definitely seemed like it was vulnerable. I agree with you. But I don't even know what to think. So things to think about. So the dog and that whole situation, if he put Maddie in the car before sunrise, I would speculate that's when he would, in my opinion. Then did he really walk the dog? Is he walking the dog? What's happening with the dog and the leash and that whole thing? And then the clothing she was wearing and the clean white socks. So he must have carried her out. We know that, okay? Because her socks were clean when they found her body. Then there's the issue with the crocs. So there's one left croc of Maddie's found under her mother's nose in her mother's room. And then on the right croc is found in the trash. So there's that to think about as well. And then also Stephan Sterns doing laundry. What was he washing? And it would have been between 10:30 a.m. and 11:15 a.m. That's when Jenn supposedly was out. When she came back, had he already done washing and a tumble dryer? In that time, in 45 minutes? Damn, okay, I don't think so. Everything dry? Are you sure? Why did she not ask, why are you doing laundry? No one knows Stephan to do chores. His mother was like, he never did a single chore. They used to have a farm. She's like, not one chore. Okay, so I have so many questions. Why would Jenn not notice her daughter's crock right there? Why would she not notice, maybe she got multiple pairs of black shorts, but the black shorts she says she's wearing is right there in her room. Maddie's phone was in her room. Then Stephan's doing laundry. Why did she not notice that her car was moved? Because it might have had to be moved to move Stephan may have moved Jenn's car to get his car closest to the door to get Maddie out without people already seeing something. I can't imagine him like scurrying across, but maybe he did. You never know. He did scurry across the road in broad daylight where he had that flat tire, right? Albo's mum, oh my goodness, he'd been a member for 33 months. He said, this case, I can't believe Jenn isn't in some way complicit, even if coerced into it by Stephan's controlling behavior and grooming. Rest in peace, little Maddie. Yes, thank you. So also, yeah, as I say, the one pair of black shorts, bedroom area of living room, which was Maddie's room. Now, what was Stephan Sterns washing between 10:30 and 11:15? Is it this pile of blankets? Is this how it normally was? Is this what he took upstairs with him? Is this when he says Maddie was making her nest? Was she making her nest here? Was she making her nest upstairs? Nest, sorry, I'm using his words, but upstairs with him, falling asleep. Did he give her a double dose of medication? Did he then SA her and live some sort of fantasy by strangling her and went too far? Did he make a mistake? Was it intentional? Did she say, no, I'm done with this. I'm going to tell on someone. I know some people speculate, was she pregnant? I get that whole speculation. I'm careful with that. There's so much to consider. And the phones, oh my word, the phones. It's just like, okay, so Maddie's phone is in her room, but powered off. Powered off. Stephan Sterns is just the whole time, all day, just forgetting his phone. Like, why? I don't know. Like, Jenn, she just says, like, no questions. No questions for him. Phoebe said, gee, I believe it was that pile of blankets. I believe that pile of blankets was upstairs in his room and he took them down and washed them and laid them on the bed like that. What's also interesting is that pile of blankets we just looked at. Wait. One could speculate maybe he, if he was upstairs, would carry Maddie downstairs, but then wouldn't the dog be like barking or being like, what the hell are you doing? Or running out or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, how are you doing that? Or are you going to carry her downstairs and then put her on the bed here and then like quickly, like, I don't know, try and get the leash and take the dog outside? I don't know. But these blankets, what else did he have in the vehicle? Because I would wonder if he didn't do more washing or throw more things in the dumpster, because he did go there 4 or 5 times, because he must have wrapped Maddie in something, Otherwise, yeah, I think it would be a mess in his car. Like, he must have. So where did he wash that? How did he wash that? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of questions, right? Conch says that he put underwear on Maddie. I don't know that. I don't know. We know underwear was found under this. And not washed. Not washed underwear. Stained underwear was found in this bed. My goodness. All right. So now it's just I don't know. My mind is just so full of questions. My goodness. Now, in the body cam from February 28th, when Jenn Soto and Stephan Sterns are standing outside of the home and they're talking about getting some clothing of Maddie's to give to the police for the cadaver dogs, she did say that the dress, you have to listen so carefully, there's so much background noise, but I listened again today. The dress that Maddie was wearing, because we found this as a community, a lot of people were trying to show me yesterday, look, I'm like, where? And we looked at everything blue in this basket and in this room and there at the backpack on that side. But eventually, we found Maddie's dress. We believe so. It could be, it might not be, but in this laundry basket where this arrow is pointing, right? But Jenn Soto said in that body cam, She was wearing a blue dress at her birthday party, but it's in a basket amongst clean laundry as well. So I wonder if these boxer shorts, are those considered clean? And if so, why are they? Did he wash those or not? Why is there clean laundry and dirty laundry in this basket? That's a little bit strange, but okay. Then other questions. This is Maddie's room on the left and Jen's room on the right. Why? You could see Maddie's bedding. We went over this yesterday. Why her pillowcases in Jen's room? Why in that body cam does Stephan say there's a pillow that she really liked to sleep on? He wants to offer that for the cadaver dogs. And then Jenn says, no, remember you slept on that this morning. If you pair that with why are her pillowcases in Jen's room? Why is that the pile of towels like that? Are they washed? How much washing did they do that day? I don't know how Stephan could do that much washing, whatever he was doing that the roommate was seeing in 45 minutes. I don't think it's possible, whatever he was washing, to wash and tumble dry. I don't know. But did Jenn not see that and say, why the hell are you doing that? So I would wonder, doesn't she know he's doing a lot of washing? There's a lot of things that I think that Jenn, one would assume, maybe she just overlooked it, but it's too obvious. There's so much right under her nose. You know, even him sitting there saying, oh, whoops, factory reset my phone. Okay, so Beverly said his mother paid for Disney Plus at her house when they visited them. True, it was at her house, at Debra Sterns' house, but maybe Stephan could sign into her account. He sounds like someone who would probably do that, right? Okay, so now scenarios. Now we're going to look at some scenarios. I've tried to narrow it down to 3 because if you really make like scenario like this, like a mind map, it could go so many different ways. If this, then that. And if this, then that. But what if, like if you made a graph and you say yes, no, and then if you say yes, then it branches off to more options. You know what I mean? We could go on. Believe me, my mind has been very busy on all of this, but I'm trying to narrow it down to 3 scenarios, okay? Scenario 1. Stephan Sterns and Madeline Soto were in Jen's room watching Sister Act. Jenn arrived at home at 10:30 p.m. She sent Maddie and Stephan to sleep upstairs at 11 p.m. Jenn texts Stephan at 11:39 to tell him that Maddie needs to sleep right now. Stephan says he gave Maddie an extra dose of medication. Allegedly at 11:49 p.m., Stephan was on Telegram doing who knows what. At 2:30 a.m., the roommate heard noises in bedroom number 4. Did she hear a struggle? Is that when the murder occurred? Because the roommate said it would have to be loud enough for the noise to travel through 2 closed doors. And we know that door upstairs had a lot of locks on it. So we would think it would probably be locked. Okay? And the roommate says she heard noises in there, and we're going to look at the quotes of that as well. So if she's hearing noises that are quite loud at 2:30 in the morning, is that when there's a struggle occurring? Is that when the murder occurs? It would be the most logical because the data shows Maddie's phone went upstairs, climbed 1 floor, 31 steps. The roommate hears a noise, loud noises. That is where Jenn said they went. And she said it was a selfish move. So this option 1 is the most obvious one, okay? It's at face value when you read the documents. It's like if you don't think about it anymore, okay, that sounds very plausible, right? And so the problem that would be if sunrise is at 6:47 a.m., one would assume he would want to sort out what he's going to do with Maddie's body before sunrise. Okay, before the roommates wake up, before everybody's up and about, having breakfast, coffee, before everything. He's supposed to leave to take her to school at like 8:45, 10 to 9. But that day, he's like out of there. He's out of there by 20 past, 7:30. Very early. Now, I just want to quickly say 2 things. 1, it's interesting to me that Jenn Soto says that they discussed that night this McDonald's plan. That is freaking interesting to me. This birthday breakfast McDonald's plan, because to me, it sounds more like something went wrong in bedroom number 4, let's say. Maddie was murdered. And now Stephan had to figure out a plan. Why is he leaving early? Why does McDonald's breakfast for her birthday. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if that breakfast was ever really the plan, but Jenn Soto says it was the plan. And I find that very interesting. I'm looking at her with the raised eyebrow. When did he say it? Why did he say it? Why weren't you going with? You had the day off, right? So why didn't you go? Did you have to fast for your blood test or not? Probably. I've had enough blood tests to know. You have to fast probably for that, but still. You've missed your daughter's birthday on the 22nd. Gave her just pretty much nothing. Didn't do anything for her. She had a birthday party on Sunday. You didn't go. So aren't you at least going to go to the McDonald's breakfast? But no, you're planning that they can go to sleep and they'll just get up and they'll go to McDonald's. Why? Why would they? Stephan, who's not a morning person, get up to take Maddie for very early. And he said he was impressed with how quickly they got out the house. Why would he do that? And why would Jenn know about it the night before? Please tell me that. I wonder. And it could be simple, like, no, they planned it the night before. Okay, well, wow, lucky him, because it just so worked out with his plan of trying to get a body up the house, right? Lindsay said she acts like she knows nothing, but knows exactly where the dress is located. That is at the bottom of a laundry basket. Makes no sense. Yeah, that as well. Interesting. Good observation, right? Kathleen is asking, how can one floor be 31 steps? So I wonder, that is a good question, actually. They say the phone at that time, there were 31 steps and one floor climb. So I don't know if it would be like around Jen's room a little bit, brushing teeth, walking around to her room, and then going upstairs. I don't know, 31 steps. Okay, so that was number one. And the second one I want to say, because I said I'm going to say two things on the scenario one, is that somebody had emailed me to say, but how do we know that Jenn really came home at 10:30? How do we know she didn't go, I don't know, stay anywhere else? Or did she really come home? Was she really there that day? Because they say her story is so sus that maybe she was doing something completely else. Maybe she was at a hotel. I don't know. I think she was at home, but you just never know. So that's just like a random out there theory. But scenario one makes the most sense of them going upstairs. I just don't I will still say why. Why is Jenn sending them when she sleeps so well on her medication, okay? So Angie says, do we have any idea what room most of the SA occurred in? I wonder if the police can tell from the photos. I wonder if the M occurred at the same place. So they do say that in a lot of the photos, of the CSAM photos, it actually matches the downstairs area of Maddie's room, Maddie's makeshift room. But obviously it did occur over years. So I think it would also, they didn't really specify that. They said it matches certain bedding and clothing and things like that. And of course, the freckle on his you-know-what. Yeah, they saw that a lot. Okay, so, and they obviously saw his face sometimes in the videos, and they also saw Maddie a lot, right? So the thing is, it occurred downstairs, and I would speculate, in my opinion, I would guess based on what I've read, that also in the guest bedroom number 4, because that's where all kinds of weird things were, like the masturbation cream in this scenario. There was a gun up there. It was a room with 3 types of locks. So I think the guest room, which was his room as well for some time, right? Okay. Scenario 1, right? That's like, makes sense. I think most people would just leave it at that. But now, based on all the lies, let's look at scenario 2. Okay, so Stephan Sterns, and this is again, just scenarios, okay? It's theories. Make sure you understand. Scenario 1, we went over that. Now we're going scenario number 2. Stephan Sterns and Madeline Soto were in Jenn Soto's room watching Sister Act. Jenn Soto arrived home at 10:30 p.m. Jenn Soto went upstairs to get a good night's rest. She would have the best night's rest there, don't you think? Where would Jenn have the best night's rest? Downstairs. She wants to sleep in. She's not just talking about the night. You want to be downstairs with all the roommates coming to the kitchen in the morning. You want to be downstairs where your dog is, where the cat is. I mean, we all know if you have a cat, good luck at 4:30 in the morning if your door's open. They're gonna wake you. It's time to climb all over you. You're a jungle gym now. You are an obstacle course. And even though I think they had an automatic feeder, it wasn't a parrot, it was an automatic feeder we heard in the background of that one media interview. I think it was for the cat. I think they also even had an automatic litter box that we could see in the background. Someone showed me that on email. I'm like, oh, is that what that is? Okay. So there's a cat. There's a dog. There's a Stephan. There's a Maddie that can come downstairs and get ready for school. Don't you think she would have the very best night's sleep upstairs in the guest bedroom? I think so. Yeah, people are asking how much did Maddie, what is her weight? 110 pounds, 49 kilograms. So you would have to carry her down the stairs if he was upstairs. Okay, so now scenario 2 is Jenn's going upstairs. It even looks like that those pair of shoes we looked at yesterday, the black shoes, it looks like Jenn Soto's shoes, the one she's wearing in the body cam at the building, at her mother's building when she's reporting Maddie missing. It looks like the same shoes. So yeah, it could be Stephan. Sure, it could be. But there's also a hairdryer in there, or it could be many things, but it looks more like a hairdryer. Someone gave us the exact brand yesterday. It does look like that. So there's a hairdryer up there. There's hair on the floor that looks like Jen's hair. There's shoes that look like her shoes. There's not much else, but there doesn't have to be much else. And she just slept there then. It would have been on the 25th that night, going to the 26th. Maybe the next night and the night after she would, or actually by the next night, wait, the 27th? No, they already kicked them out to go to the hotel. Yeah, I think she slept upstairs is scenario number 2, okay? So Jenn texts, now imagine it, okay? We're just visualizing different scenarios. Okay, Ladybug, thank you so much. We've gone over this speculation. I'm a little careful with it because I'm not sure, but it is a plausible speculation. Thank you so much for your sticker. Okay, so imagine if Jenn goes upstairs, she closes that door, it's got 3 locks, it's amazing, right? Or she just closes the door and she can have the best sleep of her life, sure. Okay, why would she stay in the king bed and send Maddie and Stephan up? But never mind, she may have done that as a habit. Now, Jenn texts Stephan at 11:39 p.m. to tell him that Maddie needs to go to sleep right now. So imagine she walks upstairs, maybe she goes with Maddie's phone, I don't know. She says, or Maddie goes upstairs to fetch something, or Stephan goes upstairs to fetch something, or Jenn takes the phone up. Okay, now she would then text Stephan at 11:39 p.m. to tell him that Maddie needs to go to sleep right now. Would this then be right after the Sister Act movie finishes? Meaning, guys, don't do an all-nighter now watching movies, okay? Don't put another movie on, another one. Just like stop the movie and go to bed. She has to go to sleep right now. And he says, okay, sweetie, and she's making her nest right now and all that. And wow, Jen's room looks like a nest. There's a lot of pillows. There's 4 or 5 pillows downstairs in Jen's room at the time the cops are in there, which I think was on the 27th or 28th. I think it was the 27th. And, which is the next night. 5 pillows. They say 4 or 5 pillows downstairs and 1 upstairs. 1 pillow upstairs, hardly a blanket. Sure. If Stephan and Maddie were up there like scenario 1, he could just strip that bed of the blankets, put that in the wash, wrap Maddie in something else, put her in the car. I don't mean any disrespect to the victim when I'm talking about it like that. I'm just trying to visualize the scenario, okay? Becca says, in the crime scene photos, there's a pink blanket in the back seat of Stephan's car with fluid stains. I think he used it to wrap Maddie's body. He could have. It was very small stains, but he could have. He could have. So it was also the poodle ambulance. So who knows what that was, right? There was also like plastic with blood spatter and all sorts of things. And I was very worried about that. But then Stephan's dad said it's a poodle ambulance. So scenario one is Stephan and Maddie go upstairs. Scenario 2 is Jenn goes upstairs to get the best sleep of her life. Sure. And just be unbothered. So now, allegedly, at 11:49 p.m., Stephan was on Telegram. We know that a lot of the essay, based on what was found on the phone, occurred in Maddie's makeshift room. So downstairs. So it makes sense to me that things could all happen downstairs, that she would have been selfish enough to leave her ex-boyfriend and her 13-year-old daughter downstairs in the king bed. There's Maddie's room. Get ready for school. Okay, you guys go out the door, walk the dog, whatever. All of that stuff. And Jenn would have been happily asleep upstairs. Now, the problem that I have then is at 2:30 a.m., the roommate heard noises in bedroom number 4. If it's Jenn in that room, why would that be? That's a question that we'd have to ask ourselves. What would the noises then be? Did she, I don't know, wake up and not recognize the room, all of a sudden kick a table over? Was it Stephan Sterns going in there and, I don't know, putting the gun in the drawer? That could be pretty loud. Who knows what that would be then if it's not Stephan and Maddie up there, right? If Jen's up there, what's the noise at 2:30 in the morning then that the roommate's hearing? I don't know. Unless Stephan's then running up there to tell Jenn what happened and they're talking and making noise or whatever, throwing things, she's getting upset. Who knows? But that one is a bit of a tricky one with that scenario. Sunrise at 6:47 a.m., Stephan Sterns would have an easier time getting Maddie in the vehicle with no risk of being seen by roommates upstairs or Jenn Soto. We're going to go over what kind of noises. Don't worry, I've got it on a screenshot coming up after this. Scenario number 3. And okay, first let me show you this. Wait. This one. Okay. This one. And we need to put it above the presentation. Okay. So just listen what Jenn says here. I think the part where she's saying, it sounds almost like but it's not, I think it's redacted. I think it's Maddie's name redacted, but just listen to this quickly.
Okay. So it wasn't last night. It was the night before. Stephan slept in bedroom number 4 and you slept downstairs.
Yes.
In the master. Okay. What time did you wake up?
I'm going to say around 8 o'clock in the morning, Stephan came into the room and was trying to put the leash on the dog. Somewhere between, I'm going to say somewhere between, he came into the room somewhere between 8 and 8:15. He came in to put the leash on the dog, and I got up to try to help him because my dog is kind of a nervous dog, and I didn't want him to be downstairs in the king-size bed.
Okay. Is it just you two here, or you guys have a roommate?
Sorry, let's go again. It refreshed itself. Just listen carefully.
So it wasn't last night. It was the night before. Stephan slept in bedroom number 4 and you slept downstairs.
Yes.
In the master. Okay. What time did you wake up?
We're going to talk about that big sigh later. Heidi says the bed upstairs was small. It was a double bed. So Maddie's bed was single. The upstairs one was double. And then the downstairs Jenn Soto's one was a king bed. Yeah.
I'm going to say around 8 o'clock in the morning, Stephan came into the room and was trying to put the leash on the dog. Somewhere between, I'm going to say somewhere between, he came into the room somewhere between 8 and 8:15.
Straight up lie.
He came in to put the leash on the dog, and I got up to try to help him because my dog is kind of a nervous dog, and I didn't want him to pee on the bed. So we wrangled him, put him on his leash, and he said, "Go back to sleep." And I said, "Okay." So I laid back and went back to sleep.
Okay.
I heard people in the kitchen. I'm not sure exactly who was in the kitchen. As far as I know, I came downstairs to get ready in her. So she's kind of got a bedroom in the living room. If you go into the apartment, you'll see there's like one of those fake walls, separating half the bedroom. She's got like a desk with a bedroom and a TV and a dresser. But she'll hang out there during the day, but she never sleeps there. She always sleeps with me, and then the rare occasion upstairs.
The rare occasion upstairs. I don't know. If she always sleeps downstairs, it's more plausible to leave her there, especially when it's just been her birthday party and all of that. But somebody had emailed to say the way that's, because remember, they redact Maddie's name. So it might just sound like, it almost sounds like, I came downstairs. And I was like, wait, what? When someone emailed me that, you heard what? I came downstairs. I'm like, oh my, she's so busted. But when I listened to it many times, I think it's just Maddie's name. Maddie came downstairs. I think it's that redacted, okay? So she's probably talking about Maddie coming downstairs and all that. But that whole story, if you visualize it scenario 1, okay, makes some sense. But if you visualize it as scenario 2, it also does make sense. Because like hearing down there's people in the kitchen, let's say, okay, cool. And then Stephan's like coming into the room and talking about the dog and like trying to get the dog on a leash and all that. It can make sense all these different ways. Now, okay, so scenario 2, Jenn Soto went upstairs to get a good night's rest. Then she would have left Maddie where she'd normally be sleeping and she'd just say to Stephan, sure, whatever, you could sleep there. It also makes sense. And then Stephan would have to struggle less in the morning to get Maddie in the car. He wouldn't have to carry her anywhere or anything like that because he would have to from upstairs from bedroom number 4 if he murdered her in that room. Okay, now scenario number 3. And this is according to what Debra Sterns had said. Okay, I'll first read it to you, then I'm going to play the audio. Scenario 3. Stephan Sterns and Maddie were in Jen's room watching Sister Act. Jenn arrived home at 10:30 p.m. She sent Stephan Sterns to sleep in Maddie's bed. That's downstairs. Then Jenn says she had a headache and told Maddie to also go sleep in her bed. See, now that's the small bed. That doesn't sound right. And that's what Debra was saying. Why would she do that? At 11:19 p.m., Maddie's phone climbed 1 floor and walked 31 steps. Did Stephan Sterns take her phone? Because he used to take her phone and then she'd be able to get it back if she performed oral sex on him. He said, if you do this and this for 3 seconds, you can get your phone back. So did he take the phone upstairs? Did Maddie say, no, I don't want to go with you? So then he takes her phone upstairs. Could be. Did he then come downstairs in the night, maybe to use the bathroom, maybe then to get to Maddie? Maybe she was in her room that night. How do we know? A lot to consider. But then at 11:19 p.m., Maddie's phone climbed 1 floor, walks 31 steps. Did he take her phone? Jenn texted at 11:39 to tell him that Maddie needs to sleep right now. Stephan says he gave Maddie an extra dose of medication, even though she didn't need it. Allegedly at 11:49 p.m., Stephan Sterns was on Telegram, and at 2:30, the roommate heard noises in bedroom 4. So if that's the scenario, then what the hell were the noises? Now, someone had already emailed, I can't remember what, I think it was a psychologist or a detective, okay, and emailed to say maybe after Stephan had murdered Maddie, okay, and realized that chapter is over because it's his obsession, right? Maybe he went upstairs and was, throwing his gun in the drawer. Maybe someone emailed to say he was contemplating taking his own life. Maybe he was throwing the gun in the drawer, picking it up, throwing the gun in the drawer. That's what they speculated. I don't know. But somebody went upstairs and was clearly making noises. And I don't know what it was. Maybe it would be Jenn and Stephan going upstairs to talk, right? How do we know? And to have a fit, to be like, what is going on, right? So those are those scenarios. Now let's quickly listen to what Debra said. I was trying to find it on just the audio file, but I found it here where I am. So hold on.
She woke up with a headache, and she told Maddie, and she told us, she told Maddie to go sleep with Stephan in her room. And
in her room or his room?
And
his room. Okay.
He was sleeping in Maddie's room, and she said him. She specifically said, because she told us, she says, I told her to go sleep with Stephan. And I was like the antenna popped up, and I said, what a stupid thing to do. Why would you do that? You've got plenty of room on your bed. Why would you send Maddie in there to go on a single bed with Stephan? It didn't make sense to me.
Do you know if they've ever talked about that in the past, that they would allow Maddie and Stephan to sleep in the same room together, or the three of them sleep in the same bed?
Heard of that. That was the first time I'd heard of that. But when she started talking about Maddie coming and sleeping with them at night, climbing in bed with them at night, and then Maddie told me, that's where she told me, she says, yeah, I was sleeping with Mom and Dad, and I rolled over, and I ended up with my leg over Stephan's leg, and she giggled about it, and I was like going, that was the second time. I said, and I told Jenn, I said, listen, she's getting too old to do this. She's too old to share a bed with you. Don't do it anymore. I said, if you have to lock your bedroom door so she can't come in.
Okay, you can go listen to the rest there. That's at 1 hour 48, and I've timestamped it for you as well on the video. But there, you see, Debra offers a different scenario. She says that Jenn told her that she sent Stephan to sleep in Maddie's bed. That's the downstairs makeshift bed. Then Jenn got a headache and also sent Maddie out and said, you go sleep on the bed with Stephan. Now, when they ask which bed, the dad actually answers Stephan's room, which obviously would be the guest room upstairs, I would assume. But the mom is insistent, no, downstairs in the makeshift room. Why would Jenn tell her daughter to go and sleep on her own bed, her daughter's bed, with Stephan on a single bed? Why would she kick her out to do that? Yes, why? So Kathleen said, so she was sleeping next to Stephan at best. Jenn should have been in the middle. Exactly. And she would usually put Maddie in the middle. So that's why scenario 3 comes up, because of what Debra said, right? So again, scenario 1 makes the most sense, but it's very problematic for Stephan Sterns if that's how it happened, because he'd have to literally carry, after strangling Maddie, he'd have to carry her down the stairs. And maybe he would have then put her on her own bed, because it's right there. The door is like very close. Like he puts her in her makeshift room on her bed with lots of blankets and things, and then sorts things out, and then says to Jenn, hey, just sleep. I'm just quickly going to take the dog for a walk. Okay? Sorry, I know this episode's a little long, but we need to get through some of the stuff. We're going to get there now. We're almost there. Okay, now listen to this. Questions about. Now, I've narrowed down the timeline of when I think that everything happened, based on the noise that the roommate heard. Something's happening around that time. Based on when rigor mortis would set in. Based on Maddie's body being limp, is how the police described it, being transferred from the passenger seat to the trunk. Okay? So there's still a couple of hours, a little bit of buffer time if one had to build that in. But really, between 2:30 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. is like, that's the time to focus on, in my opinion. So questions about 2:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. on Monday. Why 7:30? Because that's when he left, and that he was at the dumpster at 7:35. Maddie was already in the car, propped up, wearing a green hoodie, slumped to the left, hair kind of over her face. The police say they believe she was deceased. Okay? Now, what were the noises at 2:30 a.m.? I know we all asked that because we all want to know what were the noises based on scenario 1, 2, or 3. Now, let's listen and consider all the options. This is from a screenshot from one of the police reports we've already read, okay? To confirm the timeline, we had previously spoken about, they spoke to Angela, the roommate, okay? Angela stated she got home from work on the 25th, that's Sunday, at approximately 2300 to 2330. Interesting, because at 23:19 is when Maddie's phone is, going upstairs, and at 23:39 it's being plugged into a charger, and at 23:39 that is also when Jen is texting, make sure she goes to bed right now. Okay, I asked if the roommate, Angelica, I asked if she had seen anyone when she got home, and she said no, but she could hear people upstairs. I asked Angelica if Jennifer's door was open, and she described it as being cracked open slightly. That would not guarantee her a good night's sleep, although her medication usually does, right? Okay, and so then Angelica stated she went to sleep around 2:30 in the morning, which is she was hearing noises coming from Stephan's room. That would be bedroom number 4 upstairs. She described the noises as if someone was putting stuff on a table, which in order for her to hear noises, it would have to be significant based upon the noise would have to travel through 2 closed doors and across a hallway. Angelica stated if Jennifer is awake, the television would be on or a light would be on in her room, which when she got home, neither were on, which led Angelica to believe that Jennifer was sleeping. Angelica said she did see the light on in Stephan's bedroom when she got home. Angelica said she woke up around 9:30 the next morning, and she eventually went downstairs to make breakfast, and she'd seen Stephan. Angelica said that Stephan was going in and out of the house and up and down the stairs. The next time she saw him was around 1:30 to 2, and Stephan was washing clothes. He was also washing clothes then. But also earlier, if you read the whole document, so he's like, because the 1:30 to 2, washing clothes then. 1:30 to 2, he left at, no, he was at Hickory Tree Drive. Not 1:30 to 2. That's in this document. If you read all the documents, I've narrowed the timeline down to him doing washing around 10:30 to 11:15. Okay. I asked Angelica about the sleeping arrangement. She said all 3 of them would sleep together. They made a small space for Madeline to sleep in the living room, but she didn't like it, so she would sleep with Jennifer. I asked if she ever witnessed Stephan and Madeline going to Stephan's bedroom by themselves, and she said yes. Jennifer would be at the house when this occurred. Angelica said she had a conversation with Jennifer about Stephan and Madeline going to the same room together, and Jennifer would tell her that Stephan would never harm Madeline, so she was okay with it happening. Angelica stated she had another conversation with Jennifer about her sexual interactions or lack thereof with Stephan, and Angelica said they didn't have sexual relations often, and that is why she didn't want to be with him any longer. Okay. When Stephan was told he had to move out of the house, Angelica stated he was not happy. Madeline did not appear to be upset with Stephan moving out of the house. I asked Angelica what Madeline's routine would be when she'd wake up for school. She said she would go to her portion of the living room and get dressed. She would eat breakfast, and Jennifer would let her sleep a little while longer before they left for school. See, so even Maddie would sleep a little bit longer, None of these people sound like morning people. And so for Stephan to be like, ooh, I'm leaving. We're at the house by 7:15. We're going to McDonald's. Damn it, she doesn't even want McDonald's. I mean, the story makes no sense. Oh, my goodness. Stephan, remember, he also said that he was joking with Maddie about her wearing Crocs with socks. So he's very focused on the Crocs and the socks, but he put one in the dumpster and there's one in Jen's room, and yet her socks were clean. So she hadn't walked. So that's how she describes the noises at 2:30, which is something to consider. What do you think it is? Here's a layout again to remind you of how the rooms are. So on the right-hand side, you could see, on the further side of that page, you can see that's room number 4. And then room number 3 is there down the hallway. And I would assume it's room number 2 there. So 2 closed doors and a hallway. It would be room number 4 door closed, probably number 3. I don't know if this roommate stayed in number 3 or 4. Number 2 or 3. I think room number 3. So remember, they also took the pink comforter from that roommate's room. as part of a search warrant. So that's also very interesting. I don't know whatever came of that, right? Now we've got some final questions here. Questions about 2:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. on Monday, February 26th of 2024. Why did Jenn Soto change the time that Stephan Sterns tried to get the dog on a leash from 8 or 8:15, as we just heard, and then later change it to 7 or 7:15? Why? Why did she lie so much initially? Why was Stephan Sterns struggling to get the dog on the leash when he had lived there before and his parents are poodle breeders? His mother specifically said he loves animals. So why is he struggling so much that day? Well, we can answer. It's a bit of a rhetorical question. The dog was probably very scared of him at that point because he'd been carrying a dead body around. Do you know what I mean? So the dog is probably like, what the hell? But I'm sure the dog would still have to go outside to do its business. So did he take him outside? When did Stephan Sterns dress Maddie? She was found in jeans. Did he have help dressing her? Because that's difficult to do by himself. Stephan said, I think room 3-2 because Angelica heard the noise at 2:30 from room 4. Yes, I think so. Thank you, Stephan. Okay, so also okay, hold on. Okay, so how and when did Stephan Sterns get Maddie into his vehicle? And did Jenn Soto not ask why, if her vehicle was moved? Why was it moved? Because it may have had to have been moved. Or is he running across the parking lot to the visitors' parking? Because I don't know if he's parking right there. Normally those would be the residents' parking. And then there'd be like visitors' parking. So I don't know if he had a parking space right by the door. If he did, it's very close. The door, if you open the door, it's like right there is the parking. Like right there, okay? A few steps. Like probably 7 steps or so. So that's close. But if he wasn't parked right there, did he switch around the cars? Or what? Okay, anyway, and if he did, then didn't Jenn say, why'd you move my car? If I was her, I would ask that. Like, what the hell's going on here? Anyway, so then why did Stephan Sterns leave the home at 7:30 a.m. and return at 8:19? What did he come back for? Did he come back for Maddie's other shoe? That's plausible. If he dressed her and she was wearing jeans, those white socks and the Crocs, and he carried her and one Croc dropped. But then he's in the car and he says he's joking with her even though she's deceased, okay? But he tells the police, I was joking with her about wearing Crocs with socks. Yeah, you were probably like, oh crap, she's only got one Croc on, where's the other one? So he throws one in the trash, thinking he's going to go back and fetch the other one later. But then he probably ran into a couple of problems in the day. Maybe he forgot about that other Croc. I just don't know why it's in Jenn's room, unless it's scenario number 2, where Stephan and Maddie were sleeping in the downstairs room. Or unless the dog carried the Croc there. But either way, why did he leave and then go back there? Why did he do that? Is it for getting the other shoe? Is it because he wants to have an alibi from the front gate because he planned to use the back gate all day long? Right? To have that alibi to say, see, my gate clicker is not working. Remember when you let me in? Yeah, you can back up my story, buddy. And you saw me with her, right? I took her to school. I think it could be alibi talk, right? We'll look at one more option after this. It's on the next slide. Now, why did Stephan Sterns forget about Jenn Soto's doctor's appointments and say that she was sleeping all morning? And he says that she was there. Did she really go to the doctor? She says so. I'm just still like, did she? Apparently so. But did she? Because why is he forgetting all about that? All right, now, some other questions. Crystal says, you're making the same facial expressions in both videos? I would hope so. I would hope so, because it's still me, right? That one was just me from a few days ago. That was 5 days ago. I'd still be like... Some other questions. Did anyone see Stephan Sterns move vehicles between 2:30 a.m. and 7:30 a.m.? Sunrise was at 6:47 a.m. Did anyone see Stephan Sterns walk the dog or even just take the dog outside? Did they? Did anyone see Madeline Soto propped up in the car in the parking lot? When did he put her there? It would be before sunrise, I would speculate. So did he put her in the car and then just leave her there and then go back in and try to do the whole, like, I'm going to fetch the dog now and take the dog out. Okay, cool. Bye. Or what? You know, Did someone see that? Or did he cover her in with blankets initially until he drove and then got to the dumpster and then took the blankets off? Did he throw blankets away? Do you see what I'm saying? There's so much there. There's so much there. Lakeside lawyer, thank you so much. Another speculation I have is, what if he took the dog with him? Wrangled the dog, put him on the leash, and like takes the dog with him on this little drive? I don't know. Is that why he returned, to bring the dog back? I don't know. Could be. Could be. Melly, thank you so much. Now, how did Stephan Sterns gain access to the Holiday Inn Vacation Club headquarters? If somebody knows, please tell me. I'm very curious. That was at 9:35 a.m. because he just drove in there. Other people there who worked there would be at work. So he's just like, can the public just go in there? Is it like one of those where you just get a ticket? We have that in South Africa. Like, even if you go to a mall or something, I don't know if it works the same in the USA, but like you get like a ticket and you go in and you can park and then you pay afterwards, right? Did he do that? Did no one see him? How did he get access to it? Why that building? Because they both had worked for Disney in the past. Jenn Soto was working for Disney still. She was a vacation planner. Why the Holiday Inn Vacation Club headquarters? How did he get in there? Why did he get in there? Did no one see him? He went to the second floor. Was no one else parked there? No one else saw? They did catch him on camera moving Maddie's body. Okay. Did anyone see his vehicle? It was captured on camera, right? Yeah, like he said, they map tracked Jennifer Soto's car to the doctor's appointment. Thank you. I remember those. I actually remember, whoa, that big document, those maps, all those. I remember that. Thank you. So, Debra Sterns believes, this is an interesting, Debra Sterns says some interesting things sometimes. I'm like, what? She believes it was Jenn Soto on the grainy church video, because I know everybody's wondering who was the child on the grainy church video. Who the hell was dropped off that early? Also wearing what appeared to be a dark green hoodie, wearing black shorts, dropped off in a dark car. Who the hell was that? Debra Sterns is like, it was Jenn. And she says it would have been Jenn. Okay, hold on. Let me play this for you so that you hear it yourself. I think it's this one. Let's just make sure. Okay, here, listen here.
Or no. The conjecture is that she and Maddie are the same size. Mm-hmm. That she wore Maddie's clothes with the hoodie up to cover the dark hair instead of the light hair. And that was Jenn we saw sitting at the church in the picture. Mm-hmm. Because obviously, from what we've heard, Maddie was already gone by that time. Mm-hmm. So this elaborate charade put on for everybody's benefit. Mm-hmm. And she's cool, calm, and collected, and he's a sobbing, wet mess.
Ah, okay. So I was like, well, let's explore that, shall we? Me to myself. All right, Gisla, let's explore that. Could it be possible? And then I got a big fright because I'm like, crap, it actually could be possible. It could be possible that Jenn was in the back of that vehicle, lying down in the back herself. She could have been in the car with Stephan Sterns if she knew about the murder. If she knew and she was going to pretend to have the hoodie and walk there by the school and get picked up again while he's doing loops, pretending to go up and down to McDonald's, looping back north, south, north. Yeah, she could have been in the car, and that could be why he went back to the house to drop her off so that she could leave to be on time for a doctor's appointment, which could be why she doesn't know what time she woke up exactly. Interesting. That's interesting. So Abigail says his car had a leash on the passenger side. Maybe he went back to use the leash to keep her head from slumping over. Could be that. Could be that as well. Yeah, I hope 8 Fear says sobbing wet mess. I know, right? That's where I'm like, okay, let's just turn that off. So let me quickly show you this. Now, after this, we are done. Don't worry. I know it's been quite the deep dive today, right? So that would have been at 8:40 a.m. This video, let me just first read this. The grainy church video that everybody's wondering about, that they initially, the cops, the way they ask is also like, it made me think, do they really have that video? Or are they trying to use it as a ruse? Or do they know that it's Jenn? Or who is that? Maybe it was just another child. It probably could be, right? Terry says, I believe Stephan Sterns was trying to frame Jenn, not only due to the crock in her bedroom, but because in the emails you read and the interviews, Stephan Sterns' parents were blaming Jenn for everything. I mean, I'd also believe he could have tried to frame her. I wouldn't put it past him, right? We're going to get to this now. Foggy Brain says, didn't Madeline usually walk the dog? Yes. Just Jenn Soto must have known something was up when Stephan Sterns needed help with a leash. Yeah, Maddie could have done it. Yes. And yet she says he came to help with the dog and Maddie. Why would he be helping with the dog? She normally walk the dog. Okay, so Debra Sterns, this is her theory, it's in her opinion, believes it was Jenn Soto on the Grainy Church video. That would have been at 8:40 a.m. They say the juvenile sits for 15 minutes before walking away. Is it possible that it was Jenn? And then we go to page 6. Hold on, I'll show you. Of 14. I'm just making sure I've got the right document. Yes. Page 6 of 14, case number. Okay. So this page is where I went to go, well, would it even be possible? Could Jenn have gotten up and been in that vehicle and actually done that? Is that possible? If so, obviously the police would have probably charged her by now, but let's look at it. So they say on February 26th, 2024, between 8:39 and 8:58, Stephan Sterns' Lincoln was captured on numerous license plate readers traveling into Orange County, Florida. At 8:39 hours, he passed a license plate reader at eastbound Osceola Parkway and Thacker Avenue. At 8:41, Grainy Church video time, he passed a license plate reader at northbound John Young Parkway and Thacker Avenue. At 8:48 hours, he passed a license plate reader at northbound John Young Parkway and Town Center Boulevard, entered into Orange County, Florida. So he's like circling around there. Then at 8:58, he passed a license plate reader at westbound Central Florida Parkway and South John Young Parkway, Orange County, Florida. The front passenger seat appeared to still be leaned back when he passed the license plate reader, right? Okay, so I'm going to quickly just see what I missed. Victoria's Secret says he probably took the dog out so Jenn wouldn't get up to do it herself, wanted to keep her in bed. I agree with that. That's probably it as well. Although him being like, don't worry, I'll do it. Why? Yeah, normally Maddie would, but yes. And Mel said, why is everyone saying he gave her an extra dose of meds so matter-of-factly? Because it's in the documents. Drug dealers get prosecuted for ODing strangers. Her mom okayed him ODing her, and no one's talking about it. I don't get it. So it's in the documents that he says he gave her an extra dose of, that medication that helps her sleep, even though she didn't need it. So we read that. But now, let me just tell you where this one theory goes. I think it's more plausible. It could have been someone else. However, imagine if it was Jenn Soto in the vehicle somewhere in the back, and then he goes around there, stops there quickly. She gets out. She's doing the Grainy Church video. That's far. Okay, to me, this is a reach, but I'm just going to go through it because we have to explore it because it could be possible based on the timeline. I'm going to read the rest of it now. But if that's Jenn, he's doing so many loops around there and going McDonald's and not and canceling McDonald's and Danish pastries. He could have dropped her off. She could have sat there for 15 minutes, started walking, and he could have picked her up. Because one would say, but wouldn't people recognize that it's Jenn Soto then, like there at the school? Wouldn't anyone else see her? I don't know. She had the hoodie over her head. A person had a hoodie over their head, dark green hoodie, black shorts, dark car, dropped them off. You just never know. Okay? But I think she would have been charged by now if that was the case. But anyway, according to the timeline, it's actually possible. Because they say at 8:48, he passed his license plate reader at northbound John Young Parkway, as we see there. At 8:58, he passed a license plate reader at westbound Central Florida Parkway and South John Young Parkway. The front passenger seat appeared to still be leaned back when he passed the license plate reader in this area. Now, the thing is, remember the whole, like the smears and things from that, what was it called? It's powder backwards. It's like red wop is what law enforcement calls that powder to look for fingerprints, dust for fingerprints. On Jenn Soto's car, there was like a whole smear. Imagine if she was in the back of the car that day, and if that is from her going to the doctor afterwards. There's actually many options. So if you say, why did he leave at 7:30 and why did he come back? He may have come back to drop Jenn Soto back off. Maybe she did sleep the whole time. Maybe she went with, and the dog went with, for all we know, to not disturb now the roommates based on what's actually just happened. There's a lot to think about. Amber says the whole thing breaks my heart. Stephan Sterns knew exactly what he was doing. I think Maddie was going to tell on him and he murdered her. Could be. Okay, so we have that one. I just want to see what else I highlighted here for you. Oh, yeah. This one said the Honorable Judge J. Bigney also signed a search warrant for the FitBit device that Stephan was wearing during the time that he was with Madeline on the 26th of Feb, that Monday, 2024. This warrant was sent to Google. Ooh, Uncle Google's going to get him. Okay, so we have that. And let me just see, is there anything here? No, I've shown you all of what I wanted to show you there. Okay, so that's what we have, everyone. So, Rich Q said this is just sad. Some people are so evil. Yeah. Okay, so, I mean, if that could even possibly be true, why would Jenn not be arrested yet? Well, maybe, as I say, maybe she got checked into some mental health facility or rehab like some people have been saying, and maybe they can't arrest her right now. That's one option. But maybe she's also innocent and really didn't know. Who knows? But I think there's a lot of red flags. There's unfortunately a lot of red flags around Jennifer Soto. And one would hope not, because she's the mother of Madeline Soto. It was her only daughter. I really hope she didn't know. Because if she knew and she's in any way complicit, oh man, that's terrible, right? And Nonna says, Orange County law enforcement going to call you, Grizzly, to help with all the details they haven't figured out yet. You've got to put it all together, right? We've got to listen to all, oh my word. If you listen to all, that's why I put those videos out there for you guys. That's just the audio. So if you just want to listen to the audio, it's very useful to just listen again and again. You pick up things all the time, because I'd actually missed that the first time with Debra saying that. And she's like, oh, okay. So, I know they want to throw Jenn under the bus. So of course they would say it. They want her to be arrested too. Chris Sterns was very surprised when they said, your son's been arrested. And he's like, and what? Like, Jen's been arrested. He's like, no, your son. And he's like, but Jenn, has she been arrested? Has she lawyered up? Is she going to be held accountable? So that's interesting. Rich Q, thank you so much. Now, guys, thank you, Kerry. Kelly says she took Uber. Interesting. Okay. Welcome to all the new members. Okay. Now, if you are on Patreon, that's a completely separate platform, right? And it's a platform which supports content creators. Thank you to everyone who's there. It's a really great source of support. And so we're now going to have a patrons only live stream. So if you are on Patreon, I'm going to update you right now on the post. Okay. I'll update what I've already posted for you so that you get alert on your email. Click the link on there and I'll see you there in 5 minutes or so. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll be back again. Let me know in the comments if you want us to go over the media interviews and the body cam again, because I'm happy to do it with you. I look at this all the time. I can understand. I am no detective, okay? My father was a police officer, but I am not a detective, but I can understand why detectives stay up all night. I have not been sleeping well for a long time now. Probably 3 weeks now. And just like since all this came out, all the stuff, right? There was the Sean Finnegan trial, then this, because it's just like things that keep you up at night. Timelines and just details. It makes one think and rewatch, re-listen, rewatch. Oh my goodness. So thank you so much. And I'll see you all again very soon. Patrons, Grizzly patrons. I'll see you now. I'm going to ask you some questions. We're going to get to know each other a little better. Bye, everyone.